It was a stormy evening, the kind where rain hammers on rooftops, like 1,000 drums and lightning. Splits the sky with a fierce glow. Daniel, a single father in his early 30s, had just tucked his little son, Noah, into bed when a knock thundered at his front door. Startled, he pulled his sweater close and opened it, and what he saw left him speechless. Two young twin girls, no older than 13, stood drenched in the pouring rain. Their blonde hair clung to their faces, their red dresses plastered to their skin. Their eyes carried both fear and exhaustion. They looked identical, yet their expressions revealed different emotions. One's eyes pleaded silently for help, while the other tried bravely to hold back tears. "Please, sir," one whispered, her voice trembling, We need shelter. Just for tonight." At that moment, Daniel knew life was about to change. Friends, before we go deeper into this story, I invite you to support this journey of kindness. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories like this one to light. A father's choice. Daniel didn't hesitate. He motioned them inside and rushed to grab towels. His modest home was warm compared to the cold storm outside, but he worried. Who were these girls? Where were their parents? Why were they out here soaked and shivering? Noah peeked from the hallway, curious about the sudden visitors. He smiled shyly at them, instantly sensing they weren't strangers to kindness. The twins introduced themselves as Lily and Rose. We don't have anywhere to go tonight," Lily explained, her voice small. Rose simply nodded, holding her sister's hand tightly. Daniel wanted to press for answers, but the sight of their trembling shoulders silenced his questions. He set up blankets near the fireplace, gave them warm cocoa, and promised, "You're safe here tonight." The struggles of a single dad. Raising Noah alone had already been a challenge. Since his wife's passing 3 years earlier, Daniel had carried the weight of two roles, provider and nurturer. Every day was a battle, balancing work shifts at the hardware store, cooking meals, and helping with Noah's schoolwork. There were nights he lay awake wondering if he was enough. Now, with 2 more children suddenly under his roof, his responsibilities doubled overnight. Cooking breakfast the next morning felt like preparing for an army. His small kitchen was crowded with laughter, chatter, and a sense of life he hadn't felt in years. But beneath the warmth, questions brewed. Why had the twins shown up at his door? What kind of parents let their children wander in such a storm? Secrets begin to surface. Over the next few days, Daniel noticed things. The twins were polite and gentle, but guarded. They avoided questions about home, about family. Whenever Noah asked if they'd be coming to school with him, they exchanged glances and fell silent. One evening, while cleaning up, Daniel found a folded letter tucked inside Rose's backpack. It wasn't addressed to him, but curiosity tugged at his heart. The words inside shook him. "Stay strong. If anything happens, go to the address I marked. Don't trust anyone else, your mom." There was no address, just a name, Elena Rivers. Daniel froze. He had seen that name before, hot on the news. Elena Rivers was a renowned businesswoman rumored to be worth millions. A woman whose fortune was made from real estate empires and charitable ventures. Could it be true? Were these the daughters of a millionaire? The challenges they faced. Despite the revelation, life at Daniel's home wasn't simple. Daniel's savings were tight. Feeding 3 children strained his budget. He skipped meals at times so the kids could eat enough, but he never let them see his worry. Lily and Rose suffered nightmares. Sometimes in the middle of the night, Daniel heard muffled sobs. When he asked, they'd only whisper, "We don't want to talk about it." Their pain was buried deep and Daniel felt powerless. Word spread quickly in the small town. A single man suddenly sheltering 2 unknown girls? Whispers filled the air. Some neighbors accused him of wrongdoing, others of being irresponsible. Daniel kept his head high, focusing only on protecting the children. Noah, once the center of Daniel's world, began to feel overshadowed. Though he loved the twins, he worried his father's love was being divided. Daniel had to reassure his son that family isn't about less love, but about making more room in your heart. One afternoon, as Daniel was fixing the fence in his backyard, a sleek black car pulled up in front of his house. A woman stepped out, her heels clicking against the pavement, her presence commanding attention. She was tall, elegant, with eyes that carried both strength and sorrow. "Mr. Daniel?" she asked softly. "Yes," he replied cautiously. "My name is Elena Rivers. I believe you have something very precious of mine." Before Daniel could respond, Lily and Rose rushed outside. "Mom," they cried, running into her arms. Tears streamed down Elena's face as she clutched them. The reunion was raw, emotional, and filled with relief. Later, as they sat in Daniel's living room, Elena explained. Months earlier, her family had been targeted by threats after a business deal went wrong. To protect her daughters, she'd sent them away under the care of a relative. But things spiraled and the twins ended up lost, finding their way to Daniel's home by pure fate. "I searched everywhere," Elena whispered, her voice cracking. "I never thought they'd survive a storm like that. And then you saved them." Daniel listened quietly, humbled. He hadn't seen himself as a savior, only as a father who couldn't ignore children in need. Elena, overwhelmed with gratitude, offered Daniel financial help. "Please let me repay you. You gave my girls shelter when they had no one." But Daniel shook his head. "I don't want money. I only did what anyone should do." Elena insisted, eventually setting up a trust fund for Noah's education, ensuring his future was secure. Beyond wealth, she extended friendship, promising that Daniel and Noah would forever be part of her family's circle. For Lily and Rose, the experience became a story of resilience. With counseling and their mother's renewed protection, they began to heal from the fear that had haunted them. For Noah, it was a lesson that love grows stronger when shared. His bond with the twins remained, and their laughter filled Daniel's home long after they returned to their mother. And for Daniel, it was proof that kindness doesn't go unnoticed, and that even in his struggles, he was enough. His small act of compassion not only saved 2 lives but connected him to a story much larger than his own. Life often places us at crossroads where we must choose between fear and kindness. Daniel chose kindness, and in doing so, he discovered that love, family, and humanity are worth more than any fortune. So remember, you never know whose life you might change with a single act of shelter, a single act of care. Dear friends, if this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Let us spread stories that remind us of the power of compassion. Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done if you were in Daniel's place?